G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. I was just, wondering, this article, this was, posted a couple of days ago, and, this guy who wrote the article in an ironic fashion has caught it. The star of the show for the Bledisloe test is the referee, Matthew Reynolds. On my channel, I've come out and called referee cheats. I've come out and called referee bad. I thought Mike Adamson's performance between Wales and Australia was really bad. That was really hard for me to stomach after the game. But there's a difference. There's a difference between all the referees that called bad or cheat or whatever. Those were just like professional mistakes, to be honest. Everybody makes mistakes. Fans are not happy when the referee makes a mistake. It is what it is. But there's a difference with what happened tonight than referees making mistakes. This guy is an egomaniac. He thought the entire nation of Australia and New Zealand nations had tuned into this match to watch him. He thinks he's the most important player on the field. Again and again and again throughout the game, issuing yellow cards. No warnings, yellow cards. Almost like he watched that Rabbitohs versus the Roosters game on the weekend. I thought, hey, I can do better. I can give you more yellow cards than that game. I can send more players in the bin. Everybody thought that was really entertaining. Like, the whole country is talking about that yellow card, that game where like 12 people got sent off or something, right? Like 7 people got sent off. I want to do that too. I'm a referee. He looked like he tried to beat that record. He tried to get out there and send in as many people as he can into the bin. And then it happened. This egomaniac realized he wasn't going to send enough people in the bin for the newspaper to put him on the front page the next day, right? He was like, damn it, I'm not going to beat that, Sydney Rooster Rabbitohs record. You know what he did? He decided to take it upon himself to decide on the result of the game. He single-handedly decided the result of the Bledisloe Cup game that's been played for over 100 years between the Australia and New Zealand. He thought he was the most important piece of the puzzle of the Bledisloe Cup 100 plus year tradition. He thought he was the most important thing on the field. And he thought he was the one that needs to be the one that decides on the result of this game. He took it upon himself to reverse a penalty for wasting time. I have never seen this in my whole life. If this guy doesn't have the biggest ego in the world, I don't know who does. I honestly, I can't believe this, the ego of this guy. I've never seen a penalty being reversed. And not to mention, he paused the clock. He recognizes that the Wallabies are trying to taking things slow, which they're allowed to. He realized that. He paused the clock, which led to the Wallabies 4-pack getting into the huddle to have a chat about the line out they're going to do, because you paused the clock already. And he sees this, reverses the penalty for a short arm, allowing the All Black one last opportunity to score a try to win the game. The Wallabies defended the try line with their absolute hearts out to hold off that All Blacks onslaught, to hold on to that 3-point. And this egomaniac, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to the airport. I'm going to go to bed. It's past my bedtime. You're wasting my time. I'm going to reverse the penalty. Oh God, my man, like, there's nothing I can say that can justify, if I call for this guy to get fired, that's not enough. That's not enough. We lost to Bledisloe for the 20th year. because of this egomaniac. That's not enough. Like, I don't know what's enough. I don't know. Unless Matthew Reynolds can invent a time machine and go back and change his decision on the field, nothing is enough. There's absolutely nothing. Firing this guy, issuing a fine, nothing is enough. Nothing. This egomaniac. Man. I just... And this article caught it 2 days before the test on the 3rd. This was yesterday. What is it? What is the day today? 2 days ago. Anyway, let's talk about the game. I wanted to keep... this is the 6th time of me filming this. I don't want to spend 30 minutes yelling about the referee like I've done in the previous few attempts. So, let's talk about the game, right? Every year I wait for the Bledisloe Cup game, and all I ask is the Wallabies putting on a good show, right? Stepping up to the plate, put some physicality into it, and I was really proud of the performance by the Wallabies today, to be honest. The Wallabies started a little bit concerning. I thought it was going to be another one of the things where the All Blacks just runs over the Wallabies, but the Wallabies really pulled themselves together, came back from a huge deficit, 13 points to 31, at 1 point down. I thought the game was over. I was, tempted to just turn off the TV at that point, but man, I'm so proud of them, pulling themselves back from the deficit, getting ahead. Just unbelievable performance to be ruined by the referee, but by the egomaniac, man. Like, I honestly, there's nothing that can be done to this guy. That'll be enough. There's nothing. Like, firing this guy is not even close to justifying the egomaniac act that this guy did. Just unbelievable. Man. So the Wallabies, obviously Bernard Foley came back this game. I thought it was really poor at the start. I was genuinely concerned. After about 20 minutes, he dropped the ball a few times. He missed a few tackles, and I was just genuinely concerned for Bernard Foley. I thought this game was just gonna go to waste, and Foley might have been just with the sacrificial lamb at the end of the tunnel. But then his veteran instinct kicked in. He looked like, he was a bit jitterish after, not playing test rugby for 3 years. And then, slowly he's starting to look like he remembers how to ride the bike. And man, Bernard Foley looks so damn good. So damn good. His, decision-making was crisp. He was able to, I thought he wasn't able to break the All Blacks line. He wasn't able to make half line breaks and get the offload, setting up Andrew Callaway for a try. And then in another incident where he was able to do just crazy lightning hands, like fastest hands you're ever going to see. Crazy lightning over the top. Imagine not just like, a flat pass, but an over the top pinpoint accurate ball to beat the rush defense to Andrew Callaway out wide in space for another try. Unbelievable skills. Like, that, I was, honestly, my jaw hit the ground when when Foley pulled that pass off for Callaway to go in for that, for his, second try. Unbelievable stuff. And also, 100% goal kicking, something that I talked about going into this game. Foley's kicking wasn't great. In 2019, last time he played for the Wallabies, was probably sitting at 60-70% at best. And 100% tonight. I was, even from the sideline, it didn't even look like it was close to be shaken. I was literally shaking I was more nervous watching him kick than him on the field. They called him the Iceman for a reason, and it was good. And so for Andrew Callaway, again, his initial, his AK, AK-14, or what number was he on today? He was AK-15. So AK-15 on the field, man, he was unbelievable today. Every time he got the ball, he looked threatening. His kicking game was pretty good as well. But I think the most overall is just that the ability for him to finish the tries was just, I don't know what else to say. He's just being able to be in the right positions and utilize the space that was given to him with that power, with that strength. He scored 2 tries. In fact, he could have scored 3, but 1 try was denied because Riku Ioane flipped him before he was able to touch the ball down. And it was literally like a millimeter away from the ball gracing the grass for a try. If the long keeper had to keep the grass a centimeter longer, that would have been a try. Like the ball just nearly scraped the grass before he was flipped over by Rico Ioane. So he could have scored 3. And then for the All Blacks, Takiaho, Somasani Takiaho. You know, whenever my dad notices a guy being good, he's always right. Somasani Takiaho, man of the match today. He was absolute machine on the field. 2 tries himself, just like Mandrew Callaway, almost scoring 3. He got knocked on in goal by what's his name? By Jay Gordon. Yeah, Jay Gordon knocked him out, knocked the ball out of his hand in the try line. And only 2 tries for Takiaho for a hooker. He was absolutely powering through as we were expecting going into this game. So also in the other general areas of the game, the Wallabies clearly looked like they were losing the kicking game. For some reason, the All Blacks kicking was just, more. There was more variety from the All Blacks kick. They were happy to do those crossfield kicks, happy to do the little chip over the tops, and happy to do those long range kicks. All the kicks the All Blacks did were better and more accurate. Even just the basic ones like box kicking, long range, try to 50-22 attempts, just better than the Wallabies. The Wallabies gets the ball, the box kick goes straight up and down. The long range return kicks were just not there. Wallabies not able to find touch when trying to exit in their own half. So the kicking game was in clear favor of the All Blacks. But luckily, I thought this was probably a strategic error from the All Blacks. They didn't really pressure that kick very much. And also under the high ball as well, the All Blacks clearly had a more advantage being able to claim that high ball more consistently than the Wallabies. Wallabies even struggled just from getting the ball clean on a kickoff. So yeah, the All Blacks really should have pressured that kicking a bit more because the Wallabies were clearly struggling. In terms of the forward pack, the Wallabies, where was I? Yeah, in terms of forward pack, the Wallabies scrummaging. I thought the scrummages was a mess for both teams. Both teams were giving away penalties. At the start, the All Blacks got a scrum penalty. It looked like there's going to be a just dominant scrum all game for the All Blacks. And then the Wallabies got back, getting a couple of penalties from the scrum tied here. Even the All Black feed as well, getting a few penalties from that as well. So not few, like a couple of penalties from that as well. So tied here wins for the Wallabies. So really impressive stuff for both teams in that scrummaging. It was just quite a bit of a mess. Again, the referee, being an egomaniac, had to step into the scrum a few times for short arms and full on penalties against the All Blacks for early pushing or early engagements. So yeah, again, I felt like he stepped in to interfere some of the scrummaging there. In terms of lineouts, so the Wallabies lineouts were. The lineup for both teams were pretty even. I think there was like 1 or 2 times where the All Blacks were able to steal the Wallabies lineout. But overall, I thought the lineout throws were pretty even. But the set piece, the All Blacks definitely had a more advantage over the Wallabies, especially in that first half when Somasani Takiaho was on the field. That more just looked like they was going to score every time the All Blacks going for it. It was extremely devastating, extremely powerful. There was one point in the game where the All Blacks more was just running forward, just getting the Wallabies dominated. And the referee, once again, wasn't shy on giving out yellow cards, giving away, like 2 or 3 yellow cards because of illegally collapsing the maul for both teams. Actually, the Wallabies got 2, and I think the All Blacks might got 1. Maybe 1. I think may or may not be 1 for Dalton Papali'i. Yeah, Dalton Papali'i got 1. So, yeah, it was just, again, the referee asserting himself to be the most important part of the game, giving out yellow cards for illegally collapsing the maul straight away. Yellow cards, not just penalties, yellow cards straight away for illegally collapsing the maul. In fact, I'm pretty sure the law actually states if a yellow card is in play for illegally collapsing the maul, it's a penalty try. I'm pretty sure if a yellow card is warranted, it's a penalty try. Yeah, so the referee just wanted to make sure that he's giving out more yellow cards. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm pretty sure if a yellow card is warranted for collapsing the maul, it's a penalty try. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to work. But let me know. I could be wrong. And then in the breakdowns, I thought the All Blacks had a bit more urgency in the breakdown than the Wallabies throughout the game, all the way till the second half when the Wallabies started to make the comeback, where the breakdown speed really started to pick up for the Wallabies. But I do feel like the breakdown dominance was on leaning towards the All Black side. Lots of injuries, unfortunately, out of this game. David Havili, Sam Kang had a head collision. Both of them got taken off early for HRA. Quinton Tupaia had a really awful injury on his leg. Darcy Swain got a yellow card for injuring Tupaia's leg. Looked like he was trying to take out his leg in a ruck. Tupaia was like pilfering over the ball, and then he basically pushed his leg in, and then looked like he might have done an ACL or something on the side of his leg. But yeah, I thought that looked really brutal. I don't think Darcy Swain tried to injure him. Just tried to take him off his feet so he can't pilfer for the ball. But in doing so, he really took out his leg. So hopefully that it's not a serious injury, but it could. Yeah, it looked pretty bad. It looked like he might be out for a while. Quinton Tupaia. For the Wallabies, Jem Slipper, Rob Leota both had a bit of a calf injury. I was taken off the field as well. So yeah, this game, 5 tries for the All Blacks, 4 to the Wallabies. What a wonderful game of rugby overall. So let's quickly have a look at some of the match stats before I talk about the game. So the All Blacks at halftime was dominating the game. 182 run meters to the Wallabies, 165. Wallabies had more carries at halftime, surprisingly. 43 carries to the All Blacks, 37. All Blacks conceded. So at full time, obviously, All Blacks has 395 run meters to the Wallabies, 301. Let's make this a bit bigger so you can read it on your phone. So yeah, defenders beaten 20 for the All Blacks, 18 for the Wallabies. 6 clean breaks for the All Blacks, 3 clean breaks for the Wallabies. Turnovers conceded, 10 against the All Blacks, 9 against the Wallabies. At halftime, All Blacks already conceded 7 turnovers to the Wallabies, 6. Defense, the Wallabies made 99 tackles, 18 missed tackles. That is really high for only making 100 tackles. Wallabies pretty bad themselves too. 113 tackles made total, 20 missed tackles for the Wallabies. Kicks in play. This is a interesting stat. So the All Blacks clearly had the kicking dominance, 20 kicks over the duration of the game against the Wallabies, 14 kicks. At halftime, there was only 10 kicks for the All Blacks, 7 for the Wallabies. And I really felt the All Blacks probably, if they had just, managed those kicking strategy a little bit better, could have pressured their advantage a lot more throughout the game. I was really glad that, the Wallabies weren't tested nearly as much as they probably could have been if this was against the Springboks under those shaky high balls. So the set plays, lineouts is, like I said, pretty even overall. The Wallabies did lose 2 lineouts to the All Blacks, like I mentioned. At half time, the Wallabies only lost 1 lineout, so 1 lineout lost stolen for each half. And the scrum, like I said, this is a mess. It's so messy, okay? The stats is actually wrong here. I don't know what's going on with the stats. So at halftime, get this, at halftime, the stats read that the Wallabies lost 1 scrum, All Blacks lost 2 scrums, with 0 scrums being packed for an All Blacks feed, which I'm pretty sure that's not true. I feel like surely the All Blacks had 1 scrum feed, but according to the stats, the All Blacks didn't even get a single scrum feed before halftime. But in the second half, obviously 5 scrums for the Wallabies, 2 for the All Blacks, and 2 lost for the All Blacks. So yeah, really interesting. Doesn't look good for the All Blacks on the overall stats, but I did feel like the All Blacks definitely had a scrum dominance early in the game. The penalty count, like I mentioned, this referee looked like he tried to beat the send-off record that was set by the Rabbitohs and the Roosters on the weekend. 11 penalties against the Wallabies, 13 against the All Blacks, and 3 yellow cards against the Wallabies, 1 against the All Blacks. 2 out of the 3, in fact, 3 out of the 4 yellow cards I was given are due to illegal collapsing of the maul. Yeah. 3 yellow cards for illegally collapsing the maul against both teams. Papali'i got one early in the game, in the first half. I think... oh, no, wait. 2 of them were... there was one yellow card against... Who was it? Darcy Swain for that dangerous clean-out which injured Tupaya. There was 1 yellow card against Tom Wright for illegally sealing of the ball at the breakdown. And there was 1 yellow card against the Wallabies for collapsing the maul, I'm pretty sure. And the recipient of that was... who was it that got that? I think it was... No... The halfback, Jake Gordon. He basically got ran over by the maul. He was like just behind it. He got ran over, and as he fell down. He tripped over the maul and was yellow carded. So really unfortunate. A halfback got caught in that position, got the yellow card. But yeah, really brutal there for the referee to give a yellow card for that one. But what can I say? The most important test match of the year for me. Anyway, let's talk about the game. So right from the beginning, the All Blacks look like they were really dangerous right off the bat. Gets a penalty right away. Instead of going for 3 points, they go for a more 5 minutes short from the Wallabies. So the Wallabies basically fumbles the kickoff right away. So the first ball was really interesting. They set up a dummy maul, and then they send the ball to the short line down the front, and the All Blacks eventually crashes over. They get held up, but the Wallabies were caught offside. So All Blacks goes for another line out, another maul. This time, this maul was perfect setup. Just everybody gets in, pushes into the corner. Takiaho is the man holding the ball. All Blacks on the ball. 5 points to nil. Richie Mo'unga converts this one from the sideline. Really impressive. 0 points to 7. Oh, actually, before we talk about the game, let's talk about the haka. So every time the haka is played, I get a bit emotional. And this game got me even more riled up. The Wallabies set up a boomerang, and they just walk towards the All Blacks. Kind of like the reverse shape of the England V. But yeah, this was pretty cool. But then, yeah, the game started. Like I said, the All Blacks on the ball immediately. It didn't look like the boomerang affected the All Blacks at all. 7 minutes into the game, there was a scrum penalty against Jem Slipper. Clearly looked like Terrell Lomax had Slipper good in the scrum. Slipper just got popped out, and he got folded backwards. It was pretty bad. It absolutely got destroyed by Lomax, and All Blacks decided to take a 3-point attempt here. I thought the All Blacks should have just gone for another penalty. Another line out more, since he had worked pretty well in the first 2 minutes. Nope, they go for a penalty. Richie Mo'unga misses this one, so All Black Wallaby gets out of the jail. No points conceded. At this point, the both teams are doing a bit of kicking, but it's very obvious. Less than 10 minutes into the game, very obvious that the All Blacks kicking is much better. The ball had better angles when they were kicking down the field for the Wallabies to work with. And the return kicks from the Wallabies was just like, a piece of cake for Geordie Barry to catch under the ball. Whereas the Wallabies clearly struggling under the high ball, both from the kickoff and just from general kicking as well. So less than 10 minutes already starting to show that issue. On the 9 minutes of the game, the Wallabies concedes another penalty for diving over the breakdown. This one, right in the middle, Richie Mo'unga pops it in, 10 points to nil to the All Blacks. 12 minutes into the game, a stat popped up on the screen on the TV. 92% possession for the All Blacks. I was like, man, early bedtime for me. I'm probably not even going to make this video. And then on the 14th minute, Rob Leota gets a huge turnover, sorely needed turnover for the Wallabies. And the Wallabies decides to take this opportunity to get inside the All Blacks half for a line out. This is a clear set play from the Wallabies as well. I'm really enjoying watching some of this Wallabies set play, especially from these lineouts. They've done this before, where they throw the lineout straight to the center in this center, usually Paisami. But this time they overthrow it deliberately to Foketi. Again, the inside center gets the ball. from the overthrow, deliberate overthrow. He throws a dummy ball to, this was actually straight to Bernard Foley, I think it was. Who was it? Anyway, he goes straight to the back. I think it was Pete Samuel got it at the end. But anyway, it was a deliberate overthrow. Wallaby gets the ball. Fouquetti was a dummy runner. And then it looked like he was going to go to the center for a crash ball. But it was a dummy runner as he slips behind him to Tom Wright. Goes through a gap. I thought he was through. So Tom Wright goes through a gap. He was looking for support. Links up with his support player. Wasn't able to get through. Quick ball comes out. Long ball to Corin Betty. Drops the ball. Yeah, this was a beautiful set play. It looked really, really dangerous. Corin Betty drops the ball. Bit unfortunate. But Wallabies did get a penalty advantage out of this. So they kick for 3 right in front. 3 points to 10. Get themselves on the ball. On the 18th minute, there was a boss kick from Wallabies, which went really poorly. Like I said, the kicking was awful. It basically went straight up and come straight down. I was surprised the referee didn't give a penalty for this because, we've seen when ball goes straight up and straight down, the players need to retreat, to exit, in offside position, is exit the landing zone. But the referee didn't call that. So the ball lands. Rob Valentini surprisingly recovers his ball. He kicks the ball, grabber kicks the ball down the field. Probably the best kick so far in the game for the Wallabies. So the grabber kick down the field keeps redeems that poor box kick from the Wallabies. So All Blacks had a option to throw a line out. They closed the gap too early. So referee gives a short on penalty for the Wallabies. Again, the referee was not taking anything at this game. So Wallabies gets a short on penalty from an All Blacks throw. So Wallabies take a quick tap, building faces. I think this must have been like 15, 20 phases later. Look like, again, this was a really, really good play from the Wallabies to deal with the rush defense. So every team has different ways of dealing with rush defense. So what the Wallabies has done is they do like a forward loop behind pass, something that's pretty standard stuff nowadays. So a forward loop behind to a back. And what the Wallabies has done is they do a second loop behind pass. So they were literally passing like 10 meters behind themselves, just straight behind loop behind passes, back-to-back loop behind passes. And suddenly the rush defense is not close enough to shut down the ball out wide. So they did this move right here. Bernard Foley throws the ball out wide. Long ball to Andrew Callaway. After 2 back, loop behind passes, essentially like straight behind passes. And Andrew Callaway had an overlap, goes in. Looked like he scored a try. He was really happy. TMO showed the grass was trimmed too short. The ball was a millimeter away from touching the grass. No try. So Rieko Ioane flips him upside down before the ball was grounded. Yeah, I thought, man, I was so disappointed. I thought the game was over at this point. On the 25th minute, a big scrum turnover for the Wallabies. Something that I was really happy because the scrum wasn't working so well. Finally, the Wallabies stepped up in the scrummaging, and that was really important for the Wallabies because once the scrum was stabilized, the All Blacks can't just get penalties at will from scrum. On the 26th minute, following the scrum penalty, Wallabies kicks the ball out for 5-meter line out. Quick short ball from the 5-meter line out. The maul gets collapsed by Papali'i, and then the ball comes out. Referee play penalty advantage. Ball comes out. Quick short ball to Rob Valentini, who was just like 2 meters away from the try line. Big part pummeling through his legs. Try time for the Wallabies. And the referee gives a yellow card for Papali'i for eagerly collapsing the maul. Like I said, I thought this a penalty try if the yellow card is in play. But anyway, Wallabies has to take the kick. Bernard Foley kicks this one, 10 points to 10. So 10 all. So that's 26th minute. And 27th minute, the All Blacks kicks off. The Wallabies was not able to, the Wallabies was able to, what do you call it? The Wallabies, anyway, so basically there was a bit of weird play here. The Wallabies was able to get the ball, but there was a one point that it looked like the Wallabies were trying to run the ball out. Pisamu somehow like ripped the ball from his own teammate, looked like. Just bolts down the field, links up with the Bernard Foley, who chipped the ball behind. And then, what do you call it? Caleb Clark was scrambling back, catches the ball, turns around. Marika Corambetti coming through. Bam! Huge hit, lays him out. Man, I actually jumped out of my seat and I screamed like so loud when I saw this. He got laid out. Big shot by Corambetti. On the 30th minute, another huge scrum for the Wallabies. Gets another turnover. Wallabies goes for another 5-meter line out. And this time, the All Blacks really manned up. With a man playing the bin, the Wallabies built 15 faces, crash balls, short balls, quick balls, and eventually the All Blacks turns the ball over. I thought, it looked like to me, Scott Barrett has rolled on the wrong side of the tackle and killed the ball off. But the referee said that was the player from the All Black team was jackling legally, despite Scott Barrett clearly on the wrong side of the ruck. But hey, he's done a lot worse this game. So the All Blacks saves themselves from a try. On the 36th minute, Caleb Clark bursts through the Wallabies defense like he did in 2020 at, Wellington. Unbelievable, running through the Wallabies. Wallabies scrambling back to defend this. Tom Wright held onto his jersey like his life was depending on it. He was the last defender essentially before Caleb Clark was going to run through the whole team and score a try. He tries to pull him down, eventually pulls him down by the jersey, and then he kills the ball illegally on the wrong side, just like Scott Barrett did 5 minutes ago. But the referee says, that's cynical, yellow card. So I kind of agree. I feel like that was probably a cynical yellow card. But then again, if that's a yellow card, this should be a penalty try, right? But anyway, no penalty try, just a yellow card. And then the TMO, there was a bit of a pushing. No, not pushing. There was a bit of a confusion as, what's his name? Quinn Tupaia was on the ground, clearly hurt his leg. TMO calls in. I think this is right. Says that there was a dangerous clean out. Everybody thought there was a head collision, but there wasn't really a head collision. But it looked like what happened was Tupaia was pilfering over the ball. And Darcy Swain tries to maybe knock him off his feet and just basically knocked his leg in sideways and hurt his leg. Reckless play. It looked pretty bad on replay. I don't think that's what he was trying to do to hurt him. I think he just wanted to take him off his base so that he can get cleaned out. But yeah, he looked pretty bad. And he gets a yellow card for reckless play. For a minute there, I thought he could have been getting a red for that. Because it clearly had injured Quinn Tupaia. But yeah, suddenly the Wallabies is in the bin, 2 players. With, halftime approaching where the All Blacks are looking very dangerous. So All Blacks smell blood with 2 players in the bin, kicks the ball out for a 5-meter line out. They go for a more. Surely he wants to try. Takiyaho rumbling through. I thought we've seen this before. He's the best try scorer for the All Blacks from the line out more. He goes in, tries to ground the ball. Jay Gordon pops the ball out of his hand. Oh man, I was screaming. I was absolutely screaming. I thought I thought I could kiss Jay Gordon on the TV screen for a minute. But no, I did not do that. But I thought I could. And that's what I wanted to do. But I thought that would look silly. So I didn't. But man, if I was on the field, I would have kissed him. Okay? He saved this huge try, Jay Gordon, from the Wallabies just before half time. And then for the last, few minutes or so, the Wallabies really tries to manage the game. The scrum got destroyed at one point. There was a Wallaby scrum with 2 players in the bin gets destroyed just in front of their own try line. And then the All Blacks gets the turnover. They try to run the ball, spread the ball out wide. Beauden Barrett drops the ball, saves the Wallabies again. Just before scoring, I was just like, I never cheered so hard from Beauden Barrett drop ball before. But yeah, I was cheering when Beauden Barrett dropped the ball just before halftime. And yeah, so despite 2 players in the bin and overwhelming dominance for the All Blacks, halftime score 10 points apiece. Second half starts, and I was just praying at halftime. I was literally praying, please don't come out the second half and concede a try. Just please don't fall asleep. You need to play with 13 players for about 5 minutes, but please don't fall asleep. And the Wallabies came out of sheds napping. I was so angry. 2 minutes into the game, Beauden Barrett, crossfield kick to Geordie Barrett, catches the ball, punts the ball down the field. Tom Wright gets the ball. He was under a lot of pressure, but it looked like he's done really well to step a couple of defenders, gets the ball in a safe position, gets tackled, and the Wallabies, gets over the breakdown, right? As they're waiting to get the ball out, the All Blacks just floods the breakdown, counter-rucks, and turns the ball over. I was so angry. Falling asleep at just less than 2 minutes from the kickoff in the second half. And sure enough, quick ball turnover, spread the ball out wide to Tokiyaho. Out of all the people on center field, gets the ball. He runs it, he steps, believe it or not, Marika Corbett, who overran his defensive line, slips on the ground, and then he sees the try line, one defender left, he goes, I'm too big, I'm too strong, pumps his legs through, crashes over for his second try. 17 points to 10 for the All Blacks, and from the kickoff, right again, Riku Ioane was given way too much space as he carves open the Wallaby defense. I was literally screaming profanity at the TV when I saw this, because this is exactly what I don't want it to see, for the Wallabies to just give away 2 tries in 5 minutes before the penalty was before the before the 2 yellow cards was over. Luckily for the Wallabies, they get a breakdown penalty, and they were not able to. They were luckily not concede another try following this Riku Ioane break. Anyway, so just before on the 46th minute, finally the yellow cards ended. Wallabies gets a penalty, and I thought the Wallabies probably should have gone for pressure and try, but the Wallabies thought it's time to settle down the pace a little bit. Goes for a 3-point attempt. They kick for Bona Foley, kicks for 3, 13 points to 17, and suddenly, I was thinking, crisis averted. We are good. On the 48th minute, Beauden Barrett drops another high ball, gets Falcon on the face. I was laughing. Again, never in my life have I been so happy watching Beauden Barrett dropping the ball. But yes, I was extremely happy. On the 50th minute, another mistake by Marika Corbett. He gets the ball inside his 22, tries to run the ball out, and gets caught by Will Jordan, and then gets turned over. The All Blacks gets a penalty from this turnover. They kick the ball out for a line out. Huge maul from the All Blacks. The maul was literally running. Again, the Wallabies defense was non-existent. This maul was free running down the field. Jay Gordon gets ran over by the maul, and then he trips over the maul as he fell down. Referee issues a yellow card for this, for illegally collapsing the maul. Jay Gordon, he was confused. I was confused. Everybody saw what happened, but referee said that was illegal collapsing of the maul. Yellow card. Again, no penalty try. Should that be a penalty try? If that was illegally, if that's warranting of a yellow card? You tell me. I'm pretty sure that's, if a yellow card's involved, that's a penalty try. Right? Anyway, All Blacks go for another maul. Another penalty advantage. Takiyaho runs. He offloads the ball just before it's being pulled down. The ball goes wide to Richie Mo'unga, who steps Bernard Foley. Goes straight through for a try under the sticks. At this point, I was like, man, Foley missed tackle. To All Blacks, yellow card in the bin. All Blacks 24 points to 13. Game is looking bad. On the 57th minute, what's his name? One of the All Blacks players, I think it was Terrell Lomax, lifts Fainga'a over the horizontal, slams it on the ground. This looked like a WWE slam. Like, honestly, this looked like a body slam from WWE. He slams him. Fainga'a gets on the ground a bit. Looking like he hurt himself a bit. No yellow card. So, yeah, that's what it is. On the 59th minute, Geordie Barrett does a crossfield kick. He's moved to 12 after Quinton Tupaia. And Havili gets injured. He's at 12. Gets a crossfield kick to Caleb Clark. He runs down the field with Rico Ioane on the inside. But luckily, Andrew Callaway shuts off the option. Tackles Clark before he was able to get the ball to Rico. On the 60th minute, Bernard Foley bursts through 2 tackles. And then he one-handed offloaded to Andrew Callaway on his support line. Andrew Callaway bolts in through this gap and goes in for the try. Looked like this was a forward pass. The replay was showing on the field. Bernard Foley quickly takes the 2 points before the referee could go back and check it. But yeah, this ball looked like it was forward. But Wallabies steals this one, 20 points to 31. On the and then the All Blacks started to make some uncharacteristic mistakes from this point onwards. Richie Mo'unga's kickoff went out on the full. On the 63rd minute, a scrum penalty goes to the Wallabies for the All Blacks early pushing. And so basically it was multiple incidences of early push. So referee reverts a short arm to full arm penalty. On the 65th minute, the All Blacks gets penalized again for early jump, for throwing a place across in the line out. Wallabies goes for a 5-meter line out, and man, the ball, the line out comes out. The ball, it looked like they were trying for a maul, but it wasn't working. Ball goes out wide. Again, we saw those quick loop behind ball to beat the rush defense. The ball carrier front quickly throws the ball behind to Bernard Foley, and this is like the fastest hands I've ever seen from Bernard Foley. He gets the ball, right? Not only has to do a pass, but it has to be over the long cutout pass to beat the rush defense all the way to Andrew Callaway. That's like 20-25 meters away from him. This big, could you imagine this? It was literally like, whoosh, like so quick. The ball just flew out of his hands straight to Andrew Callaway. Now Callaway has space out wide. Runs in, a couple players Richie Mo'unga tried to tackle him. He was too quick, too much space, goes in for the try. Suddenly the Wallabies, 27-31, back in the game. On the 69th minute, the Wallabies gets caught offside straight from this try that was scored basically. The All Blacks kicks for 3, extend the lead back to 7 points gap, 27-34. On the 72nd minute, P. Samu, who has been playing for the entire duration of the game, the Wallabies tried to counter-attack. They throw the ball wide to P. Samu on the wing. It was Samu 1-on-1 against Will Jordan. Samu runs in, big long strides, shrugs off Will Jordan on the defense. He big strides down the sideline. He saw the defenders coming in, throws the ball infield to Marika Corambetti, who gets wrapped up by 2 players, like gets his hands free, throws the ball back out to P. Samu, big strides down the sideline, try time for P. Samu. I have never screamed so hard for this game. This was so awesome. And Bernard Foley, again, testing his goal kicking from the sideline, slots this one straight down the center. I have never cheered so hard from a conversion in my whole damn life. That was insane kick from Pete Samu. And then the clock is running down. There was a bit of a play back and forward. On the 76th minute, the Wallabies gets a turnover penalty. Rob Valentini turns over the ball at the breakdown. 50 meters out, almost just a little bit off center. 50 meters out, just outside range of Bernard Foley. But the mustache man, Nick White, comes in for the kick. He punts the ball dead down the center. Dead down the center. Oh, such a beautiful kick. Wallabies pulls ahead 37-34 with 3 minutes left on the clock. Wallabies gets the kickoff. They set up a pot. Tries to run the ball out. Referee penalizes the Wallabies pot for sealing the ball off their feet. Immediately, All Blacks has an opportunity to level the game. But All Blacks, being the All Blacks, wants to go for the wing. They kicked the ball out for a 5-meter line out. They set up a maul. Huge maul coming up. I was screaming so hard. The maul was going sideways. The Wallabies pile into the maul, pushing it sideways. No going forward. The maul gets collapsed. Dan Coles peels off, runs into Fouquetti, and Fouquetti seals the ball off the ground. But it looked like he was on the ground. I thought his elbows were touching the ground, which meant that he was off his feet. Should have been a penalty against the Wallabies, in fact, I thought. But the referee says, penalty to the Wallabies. And I was so happy, so relieved, with about a minute and a half left on the clock. And the Wallabies have penalty, it's looking good. So the referee, the Wallabies are taking it slow for this kick. Referee pauses the clock. And hearing that the referee has paused the clock, the Wallabies forwards gets in the huddle to talk about the line out. And the referee sees this, reverses the penalty to a short arm for the All Blacks. I was so angry. I was so baffled. Yeah. And then All Blacks had a scrum. A couple of phases later, Geordie Barrett goes into the corner. Yeah. Just talking about that finish is upsetting to me. I just... Anyway, 46 minutes. I was planning to do these videos a bit shorter in the future. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And... see you guys for the weekend for the Springbok game. Cheers.